Spinning out of the pages of the monster hit Absolute Batman, Absolute Catwoman now has her own 6-issue miniseries. We have previously seen her during the Abomination storyline, where she returned to Gotham to help Batman defeat Bane, but we only really got a glimpse at her story. Selina Kyle was one of the crime alley kids alongside Bruce Wayne, Oz, Cobblepot, Harvey Dent, Waylon Jones and Eddie Nigma. Selina was an orphan who moved from foster home to foster home, allegedly because she was too much trouble. But really all she wanted to do was live her life in peace, and maybe help herself to other people's belongings every now and then. She was particularly close to Bruce Wayne, and was there for him after his father was killed in a mass shooting at Gotham Zoo. And perhaps unsurprisingly, she and Bruce had a deep and meaningful relationship, although eventually she left Gotham on a journey of self-improvement. And that's the first thing I want to highlight about this book. Selina Kyle lives the life that the mainline Bruce Wayne does. She is incredibly wealthy and has assets spread across the globe. She even has her own cat cave deep beneath her London home, filled with all sorts of trinkets and gadgets. Now, this is pretty fitting because the Absolute Universe was created by Darkseid, and in his world the villains have all the advantages that the heroes usually have. To be clear, while Catwoman is a thief, she's not outright horrible. She does have a moral code. For instance, when a group of women dressed as Catwomen break into her home to steal from her, she uses tranquilizer darts on them rather than blowing their brains out. And what I really like about these imposter Catwomen is that their costumes are very similar to the mainline universe version of the character. The Absolute Catwoman has a more technologically advanced costume that kind of feels a bit like the Batman Beyond suit, because she can turn invisible and has a computer named Jonesy built into that domed helmet. She also has a mechanical tail that can act as a whip, and she uses it to great effect when defeating the intruders. While this opening fight is thrilling, much of the book focuses on building up Selina's backstory and shows how far she's come, from her humble beginnings in an abusive foster home to her own Sicilian villa by the age of 25. But for all the money she has and the wonderful things in her possession, she lives a relatively solitary life. Her most treasured possession is an old postcard with the words Nuestro Corazón written on the back of it, Spanish for our heart, with 10 names listed. This was the only thing she had on her when she arrived in Gotham from Cuba as an infant. She has no idea who any of these people are and assumes that they are family members, maybe even her parents are on the list, but she doesn't really know for sure, because she was so young and she has very few memories of her life before coming to Gotham. We could take her assessment at face value, but given that this is the Absolute Universe, I suspect it's going to have a darker meaning. Perhaps Selina was a mule of some sort used to smuggle something into Gotham, or maybe it's a list of people that wronged her. Something like that, I don't know. I'm pretty confident that these names are not what they seem though, and 10 names seems like such a specific thing. For years, Selina had assumed that someone from that list would come find her, that they'd save her from her desperate situation. But they never did. She soon realised that she was on her own, and the only person she could count on was herself. But that doesn't mean that she was without friends. We already knew about the crime alley kids, but this issue introduces us to another old friend, Holly Robinson. In the mainline universe, Holly was a girl that Selina took into her care, as seen in Batman Year 1, and she eventually became the second Catwoman for a spell. Here, something similar happens. Holly met Selina when they were children in Gotham. She was hiding from the police after she had tried to smuggle in a 3D printed screwdriver in a cake to her mother in prison, and Selina pointed the police in the wrong direction when they came looking for her. From there, we're told, they became good friends and even worked together as part of a group called the Calicos, which is a type of cat with multiple coloured fur. Holly is another lost person that had been abandoned by her loved ones, and Selina takes pity on her, likely to deflect from her inability to sort her own life out. Funny how it can be easier to help other people solve their problems than it is to deal with our own, right? Holly comes to Selina on her 25th birthday bearing a birthday cake. However, she's not there to celebrate. She needs Selina's help with a job, and initially Selina isn't interested. She planned on retiring from this life, and the Calicos had a messy breakup clearly. But when she sees that Holly has a nasty black eye, she offers to help. But by this point, Holly shies away. Later, when Selina cuts the birthday cake that Holly left, she finds a round object hidden inside. And that's when the Catwomen descend on her home. In the fight, there is an explosion that sends Selina flying out the window. Fortunately, she has a parachute built into her costume. Once on the ground, she chases her would-be attackers, who have seemingly kidnapped Holly and taken the round object. Her attackers cause a pile-up on the streets, and that would prevent a normal person from being able to follow, but Selina is very clearly far from being normal. Now, this scene shows one of her more outlandish gadgets in action, the Wildcat Motorbike. To be completely frank, this isn't to my tastes at all, and it feels like it was ripped straight out of one of those 80s cartoons that was designed just to sell toys. But I bet some people will love how the bike transforms into a mechanical panther that Selina can ride. And it effortlessly leaps over the piled up traffic, continuing the pursuit. By the way, I know that 60% of viewers are not subscribed to my channel, and what's stopping you? Hit the subscribe button now, otherwise I will never succeed. When Selina catches up with their leader though, she finds that she's more than capable of defending herself, certainly more so than those Catwomen from earlier. In fact, she's a better fighter than Selina is, even with her advanced gadgets. Selina notes that she had spent years learning multiple different fighting styles and intentionally switches between them to try and throw off this mystery figure, but she effortlessly deflects and avoids every blow. For as hard as Selina tries, she just can't win. And there's a very good reason for that. The issue ends with a dramatic reveal. This mystery figure is none other than Cassandra Cain. Now, oh boy, where do I start with who Cassandra is? In the mainline comics, she was a mute former child assassin who had never been taught to speak but could communicate through violence. She was able to read people's body language and predict how they would act based on the smallest muscle movements, which made her a tremendous fighter. It was an awful upbringing, but what do you expect of the daughter of Lady Shiva, one of the world's deadliest fighters, and David Cain, a ruthless assassin? Through her work with the Bat family, she eventually learned to speak and integrated into normal society. Here though, Cassandra and her mother are some of the last remaining members of the League of Assassins. Just before the issue came out, DC announced that Absolute Catwoman would be skipping a month in September, and instead they would be publishing Absolute Cassandra Cain, The Shadow's Hand, a one-shot special that shows her origins and details Jack Grimm's role in the destruction of the League of Assassins. And it's interesting how the Joker seems to be at the center of so many people's stories. In the latest Absolute Batman story, it has been revealed that Grimm had manipulated Bruce Wayne's life to try and get him to become Batman. At the same time, I can't help but notice the similarity between Catwoman and the villain Black Mask. Roman Sionis was one of Joker's lackeys and he wore a bulbous mask that strongly resembles Selina's. Now, it could just be that Nick Dragotta, who designed both characters, just really likes that look, but I think there's a lot more going on here. Selina is only 25 years old and she left Gotham as a young woman to go on her journey of self-improvement. She has already amassed a huge collection and vast property portfolio, which is pretty impressive for about 5 years' work. However, given how involved Joker has been in these other people's lives, I can't help but suspect that he had a hand in Selina's development too. What's more, the solicitations for the Cassandra Cain special state that her life is intertwined with Catwoman's. I guess we'll have to wait and see what happens over the coming months. Absolute Catwoman is available now from all good comic shops. Thank you very much if you made it this far. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and tell all your friends about me. Huge thanks to all of my channel members, the Back Issue Brigade, because they helped to make this video possible. If you want to see your name listed in my videos like these fine people here, then join the channel now. You'll also get access to an exclusive monthly members only video and get to vote on what I talk about next. My first Back Issue Brigade exclusive video has gone live now, talking about Paul Dini's autobiographical comic Dark Knight, a true Batman story. I'll also release a video about Batman the Long Halloween before announcing the topics for July's members only poll. Make sure you stick around because in a couple of days I'll be releasing a video about Barbara Gordon Breakout number 2. And then next week I'll be talking about Absolute Batman number 21, Absolute Green Arrow 2, and Absolute Flash 16. Hope to see you then.